everybody, I'm back and doing another review, and today I'm going to be reviewing another Transformer I just recently got. Transformers Reveal the Shield Deluxe Turbo Tracks. Now the first thing is just in case you don't know what Reveal the Shield is, it's basically they're just re-releasing new versions of the Generation 1 characters, and this is the something that came with it, just an ad. You open it up. You can see other characters in here. You can see here's this Battle in Space, Rodimus Prime versus Cyclonus. Here you have Grapple, Deep Dive, Strap, and Nugnut. I believe most of those are Decepticons. But anyway, on the back here you have Fallback, Myoset, and the rest of our Autobots. You have Bumblebee, Turbo Tracks, which is the Transformer I'm reviewing now. You have Perceptor, Optimus Prime, Jazz, and you have Wreck-Gar. And you have an ad for Transformers 3. This is an older Transformer. And wait, this is actually a Voyager class figure. It's not a deluxe figure. It's actually a Voyager class figure, which explains why it's slightly larger. But anyway, here's the bio right here. It says, every day new Transformers robots are coming to Earth to join the raging battle. When they arrive, they scan man-made vehicles in order to blend in and hide from humans. Only you can discover whether a robot is an Autobot or a Decepticon. Reveal the shield and find out. And it says, press the robot's shield to reveal its allegiance. Which... And that's what this rub symbol is for, which is on many Generation 1 characters. You rub it and it shows whether it's an Autobot or a Decepticon. But anyway, that's pretty much it. There's nothing too exciting about this. Alright, and that's that. And now here's the instructions on how to transform him. Alright, and here's how you change him to a vehicle, and everything's red just because he's an Autobot, and red is the color of the Autobot, whereas purple is for Decepticons. And he actually has 3 modes. He has a robot mode, a vehicle mode, and even a flight mode. But anyway, on the front here, you have Transformers Turbo Tracks, which is a 3. I don't understand, because I thought 3 was a deluxe size figure. Voyager figures I thought were 4, but anyway, I don't know. But post a comment if you can explain the cast system. I believe it goes Cyberverse, Legion, Deluxe, Voyager, and then Leader class. That's how I believe it goes. I don't know. I'm still a little new to Transformers. I believe that's how it goes. But I thought 3 was for deluxe size figures, and Legion was 2, and Voyager was 4. But anyway, back to the review. Here you have him in his robot and his vehicle mode. Age is 5 and up, and really no one cares. Choking hazard, no one cares. Transformers.com. Note some parts are excessive if a design may be reattached, separation occurs, blah blah blah, adult supervision. Which is kind of true, is that what they're saying is that don't force anything because it may break them, which is true, but still, adult supervision, really, the adults don't care. But anyway, now let's move on to Turbo Tracks himself, and these are his 2 cannon missiles here. His main weapon for his robot mode is stored inside of him when he's in his vehicle mode. But anyway, these are his weapons, and if you want to, there's little parts here, and they plug in right there. That's one of them. And actually, I believe this one goes on the other side because... Oh, wait, actually, I guess it doesn't really matter, but... Yeah, they can go on either side. My mistake. Well, actually, they do have to go on a specific side, or else this little, like, this wing here would get in the way. So they do have to go on a specific side, actually. Or else they're not going to be right. Anyway, here you have, like, his missiles here. Pretty cool. And now he actually looks pretty similar to another Transformer I have that I also got recently. The Transformer is Transformers Prime Hotshot. In fact, I often get Hotshot and TurboTrax mixed up. I get their names mixed up. But as you can see, the color scheme is very, very similar. Even though these Transformers are from different franchises, the color scheme is quite similar. I mean, because they're both blue, they're blue sports cars, and they have the flame decals on them that are yellow and red. So, as far as color scheme goes, these two Transformers are very similar. Anyway, getting him out of the way, back to TurboTrax. You have the rub symbol here, which G1 Transformers have. If you rub your finger across it, it reveals whether they're an Autobot or a Decepticon. This guy's an Autobot. Of course, you really don't need the rub symbol because it says on the packaging whether they're an Autobot or a Decepticon. Also, you can always, if you're a Transformers fanatic, you probably might already know, but the rub symbols, they're just for coolness. It doesn't really, obviously the Transformers that do not have rub symbols, people know whether they're an Autobot or a Decepticon. But anyway, back to TurboTrax. It has wheels that spin, and they obviously move. This is like I have this blanket here for my reviews just to give it a white background, but even with that, it's all four wheels, still spin. Pretty cool. You have the two exhaust pipes, the tail lights, and you have this part right here, which is part of the transformation. And so yeah, actually, I did hear that he's very similar to Wheeljack. I have heard that. It's been a while since I watched a review on Wheeljack, but I have heard that next to the Reveal the Shield Wheeljack, he's quite similar. The vehicle mode is. The only difference is the fact that you have, in Wheeljack, I believe you have a bigger bumper right here. But I think Off the Bottomist did do a when he reviewed Wheeljack, I do believe he did do a comparison with TurboTrax. So anyway, yeah, but yeah, the windshield here is really dark, but you can still see through it. And obviously, you see nothing but a jumble of robot mode down there, like most Transformers. Unlike in the movies where you can actually get in and drive them, there's a huge jumble of robot mode down there for pretty much any Transformer of any franchise. On the bottom, you have his robot mode. And this little peg right here, that's where his gun is stored. But when we transform him, we're going to take that out. So yeah, he looks pretty cool. And so to transform him, what you want to do is, if you have his missiles on, you want to take those off first. They're a little hard to take off, and I'm actually afraid that they're going to break eventually. Alright, you take those off and set them aside. We're going to reattach them in his robot mode, but for now we're just going to focus on transforming him. Now what you want to do is this back section here, it comes apart. It's a little hard, but it comes apart eventually. Alright, yeah. Never force anything on a Transformer, you don't want to break it. Well, you open this up and that reveals his arms, and here's his gun, like I said. You can unpeg that, and we're gonna set it off with his other weapons for now. So now what you want to do is take the doors out, and and they open up like this. And now what you want to do is take the wheels and fold them back. They rotate back. And now what you want to do is fold the arms down. They rotate, fold down like this. And now what you want to do is this part here, it kind of rotates. You want to pull these out, the doors out, and they rotate up and they kind of notch into place. They don't click, but they actually they do move into place. And now what you want to do is get everything out of the way, because this guy is a little bit hard to transform if you're a beginner like I am, but because everything's a huge jumble of everything. So yeah, but now what you want to do is take the doors out and put them up above, pose them up like this, and flip the wings out here like this. And now you want to move the arms back and flip the wheels to the front so they look like this. And now what you want to do is untab the windshield from the legs, and then what you want to do is this part, it comes up. You want to push this whole part up. What you first want to do is flip the legs around, then you move this up. Right. It's a little hard to do now that I'm in front of the camera. This is probably the hardest step in this transformation, but I mean, this is a little hard. I'm gonna transform it in front of myself. I'm just gonna do the step in front of myself, and then I'll put it back in front of the camera. Alright, so now that you've got that done, it shows his head, and now his arms are folded, or pushed more out. And now what you want to do is pull this whole part down, this whole part down. This is gonna become his legs, but they're a little short now, so you want to pull it down like this, and they kind of click into place. Then you want to separate it, which I inadvertently done already. And now last but not least, you want to fold the feet out. You want this part untabs and it folds the first foot out, and the second part. And now what you want to do is, this is actually the last part, is you fold this part out, and there's two tabs here, and then there's two tab holes here, and it tabs in there and keeps this back part from flopping around. Alright, just push that in and fix any mistakes and stand him up, and here you'll have him in his robot mode. Now you still have his two missiles and his gun. If you want to put those in, it's optional. This part here, you just peg right in. Right here. Right. And the second one. And these become his shoulder cannons. You just move them out to the side so that it doesn't interfere with his head. You know, this gun, what you want to do is fold the bullet part out, and you want to put it in his hand. Now the thing is about him is that putting it in his hand is a little hard, because one thing that he does have is he does have posable fingers. Well, the thumb is posable, I believe, but no, I don't think he has posable fingers. But I originally thought he did, but he might have it on his other hand, but it is a little hard to put his gun in. But he has like a separate section here in his hand where he especially made to put his gun in. And so yeah, obvious. And here's his head. As far as articulation goes, his head is on a ball joint. It moves back and forth, and it doesn't really move up and down that much, but it can move side to side. And the shoulder cannons do get in the way a little bit. So yeah, but still, it looks Looks good. Now, the feet are a little floppy, but he can still stand up quite nicely. And the rub symbol, you can still rub it, revealing his Autobot logo on his chest. And as far as posability, this leg here has good posability in the knee. I believe this leg is supposed to too, but I believe because of this little part right here, but this part here is kind of interfering with it. I don't want to force it because I don't want to break him. But he is meant to have good articulation. It's just probably due to an error when they were manufacturing him. He obviously doesn't have posability, and he has a little bit of back and forth posability, but he doesn't have ball joint posability. Really, no Transformer does. The Bionicles do, but they don't transform. I'm just used to doing Bionicle reviews, so I'm just using a Bionicle part. But anyway, you have back and forth posability, but you don't have side to side posability. At the hip, you have good posability. Both hips. And the arms rotate 360 degrees. And again, the arms are actually double jointed. They're held together by this piece right here. It's kind of chicken leg-ish, but it's for arms, not legs. Both arms have that function. And just rotating his arms, and yeah. And now it looks kind of like he has a jetpack because, again, he has 3 modes. He has a vehicle and a robot mode, obviously, and then he has a flight mode, which is basically his car, which is basically is a car with wings. Anyway, yeah, but he is pretty good. And it looks kind of like he has a jetpack here because of the wings, but so he looks good. Now, to transform him back, what you want to do is take his gun out and take his shoulder cannons off. And set those aside. Now what you want to do is take the feet, flip it in, and this back part, which becomes the bumper, it tabs in. Yeah, again, this is harder for me to do because I have to film it in front of a camera. But again, it tabs in right there, and then this whole front of the car, it tabs together, and you want to push it forward, and it pushes in, retracts. Alright. Now what you want to do is take this whole windshield and push it down. It's easier to push it down than to push it up. And with that, it folds the arms in, push the head down. Now what you want to do is rotate this whole part around, and this part tabs in there. Just to let you know that it might come undone. It just might come undone, but you can always put it back together. It's quite easy. Now what you want to do is this part here, untab this and push this down. It just folds nicely in there. So yeah, I want to get this out of the way, and this part, these wings here, you push down, and then they fold, and then they go inward. You push them inward. And now the wing part of the doors, you just flip in to put them away. And now what you want to do is the arms. What you want to do is first what you want to do is get the wheels out. Alright. You want to get the wheels out and want to make sure they're well aligned. I'm going to do this in front of myself just because it's harder to do it in front of the camera. Alright, so here's what you want to do. You want to fold the arms inward like this and then put the wheels out. What you want to do now is, if this is come undone, just reattach it. No biggie. And the doors here, make sure they're pushed in. It should, just want to get them, you want to at least get them around where they should be. It's right now, you don't need to do it right now. Anyway, you want to flip the, now you want to position the arms. There's tabs there which the arms tab into. You want to rotate. First you want to rotate it so that the joint is facing forward. And they should easily tab in, believe it or not. Alright. Alright, that's one arm. Alright, that's the second arm. And now what you want to do is take his gun and fold the missile around, like so, and it pegs into this hole here. Convenient storage, unlike a lot of Transformers do not have. And then you want to make sure everything's good. And again, I'm still getting used to this guy. I'm still getting used to him. I'm sorry, guys. Alright. So I'm going to do it in front of myself again, just because it's easier to do it without having to put it in front of the camera. And also, one thing is you want to make sure that the gun is flipped around so that the missile part is pointing backwards. It's pointing to the outside. This missile part, when it's folded up, you want to make sure it points backwards. That's what I think the problem was. Alright, and now what you want to do is take this whole part, fold it forward, and the windshield, again, you want to reattach it, and this whole part, it should like go in. Again, this part, again, is not that easy. Again, you want to make sure everything's precise. Of course, this is a Voyager size figure, not a deluxe size figure, so things are a little harder, even with the instruction manual and with a tutorial to help me. The tutorial wasn't from Octobot, this was from Pia, or however his username's pronounced. And this guy's a little hard to transform, but still, you'll get it. I've only transformed him twice because I can pick up on the transformation method quite easily, but actually just, like, sometimes it can still be a little hard. I still take a little time getting used to. Alright. So once you're done, you want to give everything a good squeeze. Make sure everything's in place. Alright. Alright. Alright, now, once everything's in place, it may not be exactly perfect, but yeah, now you have him back in his vehicle mode. And again, if you want to reattach his missiles, that's fine. I'm not going to right now. But now I'm going to show you his flight mode. The flight mode's quite easy. What you want to do is untab the doors. The untabbing of the doors would be kind of hard, simply because they're tabbed into both sides, and without taking this back part off, it's a little harder. But you just what you should do is grab the rear view mirrors and just fold them out. You want to fold the doors out and then fold the wings out. And now this is optional. I don't know if the instructions tell you to do this. Pia told me to do it, but you can fold the wheels inwards to have the kind of the Back to the Future DeLorean look. And you may have to move the wings out of the way, but Anyway, you can do that if you would like. Let me check in the instructions to see if they tell you to do that. Alright, it turns out in the instructions they do not tell you to do that, so if you want to do that, that's optional. And you can have the Back to the Future look. But if you want, but again, if you don't want to, I understand. And this is its flight mode. It looks a little ugly. Again, the more modes you incorporate into a transformer, the less and less good looking it would be. That's just how it is. Like Six Shot, one time, Optimus reviewed Six Shot, who was a Decepticon, had 6 modes, but didn't really look that good in any of them. But so yeah, but again, the flight mode doesn't really look that good, and I don't think a lot of people like it. It's really the vehicle and the robot mode where this figure shines. But anyway, to transform them back, just flip these in, like so, and get them out of the way. And if you have the wheels flipped out, you just flip them back out. And now you have to kind of wiggle the doors into place. It's a little hard. Alright, and now here you have him, like, once again for the 3rd time in his car mode. Now I'm going to rate him on all 3 modes. For the vehicle mode, I rate an 8 out of 10. For the robot mode, I rate a 9 out of 10. And for the flight mode, I rate a 6 out of 10. Again, the flight mode really wasn't that good. I mean, it was cool that Hasbro or whatever company made this Transformer threw that in the last minute just to make it look better. But the thing is that the flight mode really didn't look that good. And I bet, and even Pia, and if Optimus reviewed this figure, I'm sure he wouldn't like it either. But it's really the vehicle and the robot mode where this figure is cool. Again, all Transformers have a vehicle and a robot mode. I mean, unless it's the play school Transformers that don't transform. But anyway, that pretty much sums it up. And this review's been like 28 minutes by now. I don't know. I'm looking at how much time is being used up on my camera. But again, this may have been a really long review for a Voyager-sized Transformer. But again, I did believe that Voyager-sized Transformers were in fact a 4 in regards to transformation, and 3 being a deluxe-sized figure. Well, it says in the instructions here that this is a 3, yet this is a Voyager figure. So tell me the CAT system and tell me if this is right or not. I believe it's Cyberverse, Legion, Deluxe, Voyager, and then Leader. Those are the 5 sizes, but tell me if I'm wrong or tell me if I'm right, and if I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. But I'm still new to Transformers, so don't make fun of me. But that's just what I believe right now. If anyone's free to correct me. But anyway, I'm signing off now, and I rated this Transformer, and so you can always rewind the video or watch it again if you would like. Anyway, I'm signing off now.